And hello! Today we're looking at the Bombshell Overdrive by Amplified Nation. You have seen this amp in several of my videos already, quite a few because I've been pumping pedals into it for the past few months. Now we're looking at it in depth. What is it? I mean, anyone that knows amps, I don't, but some of you do, knows this is clearly a dumble clone. We can say this because Amplified Nation says it. They said, we love dumble. We had one here, they probably don't have any more, and they like to do very high-end, let's say, replicas of dumbles, because you can't buy dumbles. There's only a few handful, and they're all over 100,000, up to 300,000. Pretty ridiculous. Now, apparently, the estate of Alexander Dumble, who recently died, has been curated by some friends or whatever, and they are planning on making dumbles again based on the original blueprints, which of course nobody was allowed to look at and all that stuff. But you bet your sweet ass, once they hit the market, nobody can afford them, similar to before. There might be 10,000 and above. That's what I'm thinking. So going to some other brands that still put in the love, the work, the high-end components, and try to nail that mystical, enigmatic sound, it's probably a good idea to go to those companies like Turok, which will clock in the 4, 5, 6 thousands. Seriatone is, I think, under $2,000. There's Flux amps, and there's Amplified Nation. A whole bunch of companies doing the dumble thing, and always in a high price point. Is it because the components and the know-how to build one of these requires a high price point, or is it because an original dumble is so ridiculously expensive that, I mean, they're saying, well, you know, we're still cheaper? Might be a sales argument, I don't know, but the point is, this is a super fine amp. It is so close to the original that I have issues with it in usability, because they could have taken the Overdrive Special, which this is. They also have a steel string thing, which is more for the cleans, whatever. They've got variations. They've got, of course, you know, some of their own stuff. But this is a very true replica, homage to, whatever you want to call it, to the Overdrive Special. One of the, you know, most prized dumble amps, the one Santana played, I think. What do I know? Nothing. In that, it has some things where I was like, well, why didn't they just, you know, upgrade that? Or because then some of you diehards will go like, that's not like the original. So it is okay. It is forgiven, but I'll bitch about it. In the States, you can get this with that Tolex and the 50-watt version, which I have here, for about $3,700, I think. In Germany, with customs and all that stuff, and VAT, this will clock in at $4,500. Not cheap, but look, Victory just released amps for $5,200, $5,300, you know, hand-wired in Britain. And Turok and all these others are in similar price ranges. And it's not the $200,000 that you pay for a dumble, which I can comment on because I've never played one. But I know what it's supposed to do. And I'm gonna say this does it, but what do I know? This video is sponsored by the product in exchange for content, and I'm very, very happy that I now have a beautiful turquoise blue Bombshell Overdrive in the studio for videos, because it will serve me very well. It's an amp to have when you do pedal reviews. Before we go into more details, let's take it out of the box.
Stars above, wide awake. Fingers on the frets, making the earth shake. Classic design.
And since we chatted quite a bit already, let's hear some sounds before we go to anything else. And look at some nice product shots that Leslie did. Thank you, Leslie. talk some specs, listen to a song, which really took me quite a while to do, and then we'll get more sounds. So, in the front, we have a normal input and a FET input. Some of the dumbles had that. The FET input goes through a FET thing, whatever that is. I don't know electronics. And that gives it a bit more input gain. This is the input gain / volume, which will affect both channels. Yes, it has 2 channels. Okay? So in the overdrive channel, you will get more overdrive when that is cranked up more. So they're dependent on each other. You got a bright switch, which I always have in. You have a mid switch, which gives you more mids. And the typical dumbly jazz and rock, most people probably have it on the rock. It's more of a voicing, they say, for the EQ, but the jazz is more subdued, not as in your face. We, of course, will switch it around. We've got the typical 3-band EQ, whereas I would like the treble here and the bass here. I like to go bass, middle, treble instead of treble, middle, bass. But hey, whatever, that's what they do. Then you've got the overdrive with its separate volume, sometimes also called ratio for some reason. Here it's called volume. So crank that up. And what people don't really understand, the Overdrive Special has a shit ton of gain. Is it a metal amp? No. But it has a lot of gain on tap for massive leadage. Volume. We've got the master, of course, and presence right here, even though Christmas is already over. If we look in the back, we have an on and a standby. So you switch that in the back. That annoys me a little bit, but okay, that's just how it is. External bias points, all the speaker outputs you want. 4 ohm, who has that? But maybe they have that. Maybe their own speakers are 4 ohm, so that's a bit weird. But you've got 8 and 16, so that makes me happy. We have an effects loop called preamp out and power amp in. Makes sense. That is connected to a 2290p from TC Electronic. This is the foot switch input, which locks. I'll bitch about that in a bit. And here are the switches for overdrive channel on and off. Right now it's in pedal position, so I can switch it on the pedal. And boost on and off. Right now it's in the pedal position, so I can switch it on the pedal. If you have this on, then you can't switch it on the pedal, and you switched it manually on the amp. My biggest gripe is, why is this in the back? Because when I have this in the studio, I want to walk up to it and go click, and have this in the front. Both of them. Having this in the back is massively annoying to me. Because in the studio, especially in the amp rack, if it's somewhere in the middle of the rack, not on top, I somehow have to get in the... It's not convenient. It limits where you can put this amp. Now, they're, of course, saying, well, that's how it was on the original. So, yeah, if you want to stay true to the original, that's how it has to be. But I'm saying, don't make stupid mistakes Alexander Dumble did. Make it better. Give me the switch somewhere here. But then, of course, it doesn't have the original look in that. I get that a lot of people are a bit, drastic about it. It's got to be like the original. So on the foot switch, you can clearly see that there's boost and overdrive. But can you see that? No, you can't. Why in the world would it not say that on the foot switch, Amplified Nation? Is it because that's how it was on the original? Well, please improve on that. That's overdrive. No, it's not. That's the boost. And that's channel 2. Of course, one can say, well, you can remember that. What if someone else steps up on stage, plays your amp? Has no idea. And then, this is all super high-end, of course, right? It comes with this proprietary cable, which locks somehow. Yeah, it locks. There we go. It's super long, very high-end cable. I got no issue with that. But it's a 7-pin cable. Now, if someone does roll over that with their tank and it breaks, we're going to have a 7-pin cable on stage. Why isn't this a MIDI cable? I have this issue with some other brands. I know that it's how it probably used to be, and they want to have that to run power to these LEDs. I get that. But it's not contemporary. It's not what you would do today. Run this as a MIDI cable because I can literally buy these by the bulk anywhere. However, true to the original. I get it. I get it, but I don't have to like it. What I do like is that you can order these in a variety of toe lexes and super, super cool in this suede. I mean, that just is so nice. And I love turquoise. You can completely customize the front grille. That's extra. Custom toe legs in cool colors is, I think, 150 extra. Worth it. Look at it. Of course, your speakers, everything customizable. I love that there's this. We have a top camera, actually, that can probably show that. Yeah, this aluminum, that's how you say that, by the way, aluminum border surrounding this. It's just a very nice design. Font and everything is clearly hinting at what it's supposed to be. Before we go into what the dumble really is and what the dumble sound is, let's check it out in a track that's very unlike me, so it took me quite a while to nail it, but boy, was it fun. I ran this into the Power Station by Frayette as a load box. Then I ran that as a line signal into the XFX 3 with a, I think, Princeton cab, and here's what happened.
Cruising down the freeway under city lights, amplified nation booming in the night. Got the classic design, no, you're not mistaken. Feeling high with the roads we keep on taking. Blue suede shoes tapping to the beat, unattainable dreams on your tired feet. Warm tubes glowing, whisper in the tune. This bombshell overdrive got me over the moon. Moving forward, songs of the soul, got a song blasting through speakers that never go cold. Bombshell overdrive, always breaking the mold. Above, wide awake, fingers on the frets making the earth shake. Classic design leading our hearts inside this amplified nation where we collide. Oh, we're spinning through the air, no worries, no care. Stars above, wide awake, fingers on the frets making the earth shake. Classic design leading our hearts inside in this amplified nation where we collide. Always spinning through the air, no worries, no cares. Bombshell overdrives on our side, together we ride.
had a shit ton of fun writing that track, producing that track, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so the dumble sound can be very high gain, but not necessarily your rockin', Poison or Judas Priesty kind of high gain. It's a perfect amp for single coils to get bigger, for thick leads. Is it a great sound for rhythms? It can be, but primarily you will find this with lead players that love their single coil sounds but need some thickness and some sustain. So of course, you're this guy's sound. I forgot how the rest works. That guy, Ford, the Robin guy, and Vaughn, and all these people, they liked Santana. They liked the thickness of the tone, and it really has that. It is round and thick. That's what a dumble is. Can it be other things? Well, I think the track showed you that. But we're going to go into stuff right now. It's delightful to play. The setup today, this into the Palmer cream back-loaded 212, mic'd with an SM57, and the AEA R92 ribbon mic, very, very cool combination for thickness and bite. And over there in the room is an AEA R88A. It's a stereo ribbon mic, close to the price of the amp, at about 2 meters away, that's about 6 feet, and that captures a beautiful realistic room tone, together with the close miking, gets you, I would say, the best representation of this amp in the room that you can possibly have. Let's click all these down, which I wouldn't do, but we're doing it anyway. It does tend to drive quite early on the volume. So this guitar is not just here because it matches the amp, but I'm actually really enjoying it. And I probably should have used a very high-end boutique guitar for like $8,000 or whatever, with something as fine as this. But I have a feeling that I'm not making any compromise with this, which is very weird because this guitar is $650. Roasted maple, locking tuners. It's a Henry's. Look, it says Henry's right there. It says Henry's right there. From the Czech Republic. And I've been playing the living crap out of this, and I'm loving it. The aging is, basic, not amazing. But it's $650. It's an HSS combination, which is perfect for a video like this. I don't feel like I'm making a compromise here. Listen to the tones and tell me that that's not a great guitar. So. That's missing some for me. There's a pedal board on the floor, in case you're wondering. So we're going to try that, of course, with a tube screamer and a clon type pedal, which is what people do. But I want to flicky flick the switches. It automatically gets me already better. I'm going to turn the delay off, sorry. That's where I want to be. So mids. That makes it much more present and really jumps forward. So. Big mid hump. Really mid stuff there, so I want that in. kick the rock in. Now, when I'm really digging in on the E string, you can hear amp's being pushed hard already. And it's back to clean. Yeah, this is nice now. So, jazz. It's pretty much the bigger, thicker, more button, right? Switch. Yeah, with more volume on the jazz setting. You know, stuff like this. Jazz. Yes, it can do it, but there it's much more present in your face, and there in spanky in between position. It's always this big low end. You can already kind of push it to crank a bit, or not. Put the Galaxy in front of it with some tape delay. Go to the FET input at that setting, which should be more. Quite a bit more. So much that I don't want the delay in front, so I'm gonna turn on the TC 2290p. That's a bit weird, fuzzily. It's just killing the amp right now. That's what it sounds like. Oh, by the way, this is the 50 watt version. That means 2 6L6. There's a 100 watt version, 100 watt version with 4 6L6 double. And there's a 22 watt version with 2 6V6s. But this is the 6L6 50 watt version. Okay, I see. So maybe not taking the volume too high on this. because it's pushing way too hard. Like a mean fuzz. You don't want that. Unless you want that, I'm more into that sound. Let's go into the EQ section. Again, that's that really mean fuzz sound there. Maybe that pickup's pushing too hard. To die for sounds, really, but then you get the other sounds, so you have to know what the amp wants and what it doesn't. There is a boost that we can clip in the back, or with foot switch. That's overdrive, and that's the boost. Yep. That is. Okay, so boost here. So the boost is in, but we're back to jazz. So we're moving on to overdrive. And I'm thinking that I'm just pushing it too hard right here. Because that is amazing. Ah, didn't switch that off. When the boost is in, the whole EQ is circumvented. So the EQ doesn't work when you're boosting. So moving on to overdrive. Those are fun sounds, and we're not even close to really giving it everything. Who's that? Amazing sounds. I really think you want to understand the gain structure of this amp, because you can get too pushy on one end, but then if you wanted to go more, then you actually go to the other channel. So it can sound, getting to know your Bombshell Overdrive is a good idea. You can really give it an extra bite with the presence, as it should be. That's why people love these amps so much. The leads are just jumping out. They're singing. Can you rhythm with it? Yes, of course. Does it do that like a Friedman? No, because it's not meant to be that rock amp. It's what it is. It's a dumble kind of a thing. Let's boost it. Absolutely lovely sounds. We're gonna go to less gain. We're gonna boost it with the Tube Screamer. Wow! And now with the Archer. Let's go back to the clean channel and do this. It's too much volume, it doesn't want that. We can hear that it's, crapping out. Also go. So maybe we go to the overdrive channel. Get that kind of cleanish. Okay, Bombshell Overdrive, Amplified Nation. If you don't have $200,000 for a dumble, I hear they're amazing, but this is also amazing in that in the US, 3,700, in Europe, over 4,000. But that's what you pay when you want those sounds. Can other amps give you those sounds? That style of sound is that style of sound, and that's what you gotta pay. Also, it's Bluetooth, so it sounds better, of course. Gain staging is something to learn about this amp. Like, where do you have the volume when you're going to overdrive? When you want it clean, how far are you taking it down? But jazz, you can crank more, but rock, you have to pull it back. But then you're pushing it with the pedal. Where are you pushing it? You can get very icky sounds if you're not doing that right. So spending an hour with it and finding out where the sweet spots of the different channels are is a good idea. I think I would like the switches for boost and overdrive on the front. But again, classic design, that's how it is. What are we going to do? Which with Alexander Dumble, he's already gone. So they tried to stay true to the original idea, also to make it visually appealing to the people who want the real thing. I get it. Thank you, Taylor from Amplified Nation. They were very kind guys. Thank you, Paul from the Studio Rats, for connecting me with them. That was very, very kind of you. Other than that, I'll leave links below, which always helps the channel if you click those links. Should those links go to a place where I get affiliate, please do not use Honey. We now know that Honey poaches affiliate commissions off of influencers, and it's not nice. So if you have the Honey extension installed, I would suggest to uninstall it. You can find better coupon codes by yourself within minutes somewhere else. Just saying. Or don't if you don't care about, that kind of stuff. But we are being cheated by Honey, which is PayPal, by the way. So that being said, links below and animals at the end.